Republic General has actually taken over the planet.
Really?
Now, you've been on a 10-quest series to take this guy out. We call them world arcs, and this is like full old-school BioWare adventuring. You go through 10 giant quests in a row. We've been fighting this guy forever. Now we're actually raiding his castle and going to take down the king himself. So this is all original set pieces just for the castle in Alderaan. You can see the damage there from when he came in and took the castle. When we get into the throne room, you can really see it. You see people are putting them together. They didn't actually have everybody in the group. So they're going to group up, try to get some big adventure. One of the things we wanted to show was it's not just the flashpoints. It's not just the operations. It's not just the big sort of standalone pieces where you get cool big group play.
Oh, you keep going. I'm just going to fix this microphone.
Oh, no problem. So the
we're all friends here.
one of the things that was really important when we came was we wanted to show that there are big, epic boss fights, big, cool puzzle events, really exciting stuff outside of the instances, outside of the flashpoints, just out there in your normal, hey, I'm going to group up with some guys and go in. So they're going to take these guys out, and then they're headed into the throne room. The throne room is a group instance, which means we take little bits, instead of instancing out the whole world where all of a sudden you don't see the other people you're playing with, we go and we make little room instances. So most of the time you're out in public, you get that whole MMO feel, but you don't want to line up and wait to kill the boss.
Right.
So we're all going to go in there together. One of the things, so we pulled up, this is Boris Olgo, this is the guy we're going after. This is from the Codex. The Codex is our big sort of encyclopedia of everything that's going on in the world. So when you go in here, it gives you a little bit about the guy, just in case you, let's say you're one of those guys who doesn't pay attention. Also good always in the quest. So you can check in on that. They're going to go down the elevator and hopefully close their Codex at some point. Here we go. So everybody's going to go down. We're going to get into the throne room, really face off against these folks.
Is it fun getting to show off as much as you're getting to show off?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Like we've been waiting for so long to get to see all this stuff that, like, you know, the fans have been wanting to see it. Look, check out this place. So this is the art team did a fully original piece for the throne room. You can see where all the damage has been done. You can see everything they messed up. We really wanted to show, one of the big emotional points of the original Star Wars series is obviously Alderaan getting destroyed.
Right.
So we wanted to show the emotional side of what that meant, which meant showing how beautiful Alderaan was, how amazing it was when it started, etc. So they're running in here to the throne room. They're finally going to face him off. You're actually going to get to see the multiplayer dialogue, which is one of the huge innovations from the Old Republic, where everybody gets together in a group and talks to an NPC.
Oh, wow.
We made a little game out of it, so basically you're rolling against each other and trying to see who talks. Picture a bunch of guys in a room all trying to get their way. And let's see how it goes.
The first to try for the seat. I didn't expect an off-worlder. Who sent you? The Organas? Those broken fools, the Pantiers? What's your stake in this?
So all the players actually have very specifically different things for their own class. So you see the smuggler gets to be a little bit of a smart aleck. The Jedi's going to be a little bit more righteous with it. Regardless, Boris is not terribly impressed.
He's not having it.
Yeah, he's not actually going to surrender and come alongside quietly. And what he actually has is a very, very good security system we're going to get to take a look at. It looks like Smuggler's winning all the roles today.
Let's face it, smugglers are some of the coolest dudes in Star Wars, right?
Exactly. And they get some of the very coolest lines. If you want to be funny, if you want to be charismatic, if you want to have the ridiculous abilities to try to flirt with everybody, boom, okay, so he's turning on the security here. Whoa, all those generators created a massive force field around him. Said, you can't fight me. Now he's going to bring in a ton of guys to try to fight them down. So what you actually have to do is those generators, well, one, we got a bunch of guys defending first, so we're going to take out his personal guard. And you're going to see the groups getting to work together. One of the things people who haven't seen the game for a while, you'll notice as they're fighting, the entire GUI has been redone. So the original UI we had for the game was not terribly popular with the fans. We learned the demo took out every single piece of art or graphics that was possibly blocking the screen. This one's been much more popular.
Excellent.
So what they're trying to do is trying to fight through some of these guys, and everyone's staying together pretty well. And Oh, one last guy. And then they're going to go and they need to find a way to take out these generators. So they've got a little bit of a puzzle thing when you come into the throne room. So one last guy. Healer's going to heal up everybody. All right, and then we're out. So they're going to go after that one first. Now the nice thing is they've got all their weapons stockpiled in this area. So there are some nice weapons right next to that generator that if they can get through these guys and fight, they can probably take out the generator itself. So you see the Force Leap there, the Jedi Knight goes flying in. He's got a bunch of different abilities. The Smuggler actually has her portable cover, which you saw her set up there. So if you don't have a box or something to hide behind, you can actually set up your own. It doesn't last as long, and it can take damage and sort of get knocked out, but it's a good short one because you've got a whole brace of abilities that actually only work during cover. So they got one more person. Oh, no, we got one last fight holding out. All right. So the Smuggler's going to go try to grab some armament. Meanwhile, you can take a look at just how big enough that generator is.
That's huge.
Yeah, this whole place, and see, you can see there's no way to jump up there. So what we're actually going to do is, she has now got a shoulder-mounted rocket.
Excellent.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
So you go through there, you take out 3 more of those, you fight your way through the area, and then you take on the boss itself.
Nice.
And so we're not going to show through the whole thing because it'd take a while. But then even the fight with Boris Olgo is multi-stage. He's got a bunch of different tricks you can do, etc. And then one of the big important things for here is this is all, again, it's not a flashpoint. This is something you can come do with your friends, or you could have come and done yourself. If you'd done it yourself, it would have been a very different difficulty scale, obviously. We bump it up to say, hey, you're with a group. We know you're going to want to do some big, cool stuff. So we raise the difficulty level of the whole area.
Now we see 4 guys run along here. How many people in that group can all go together? Is it the 4?
It's 4.
It is
so it is a 4-group maximum, and the nice thing is that includes companion characters. So a companion character isn't quite as powerful as a normal character just because obviously the AI, they don't have the full range of abilities. But you can go if you have you and a friend, you both pull out your companion characters, now you've got a 4-person group.
I gotcha.
Which allows you to actually, you can take on some 4-man stuff a little bit with the 2. It might just be, or you can do 3 and 1, etc. It allows you to get groups together faster and have a little bit more flexibility in what you do.
That's awesome. It sounds like an incredibly awesome thing that you guys are trying to do, but also very difficult, which is kind of play to the traditional RPG crowd, but also recognizing the folks that have their massively multiplayer online RPGs and kind of like them the way they are. So it's kind of like building the stuff that people like from the past and mixing the new together and having them kind of be okay with everything the way it is, correct?
Well, one of the things that was really interesting to us at the beginning is the traditional RPG crowd, right? BioWare games all come from the pen and paper background. And the pen and paper background was all about your friends.
Right.
The most startling thing when we started playing computer role-playing games, for those of us who are old enough to remember that, is they were single-player. And that's never what you played when you played role-playing games.
Sure.
So for us, it was a very natural evolution. And although the limitations of both the single-player genre and the MMO genre, the single-player genre, which had no friends, and the MMO genre, which didn't really have traditional storytelling, those limitations had sort of become genre expectations.
Right.
So it took people a little bit to understand where it was going to come together. And really all we did is took it all the way back to the roots of what made good role-playing games.
That's awesome. That does not sound a place that is bad to go to by any means. Do you mind if I throw a couple audience questions at you before we let you go?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see. We are looking. Some of the folks want to know, is there more to see of this game on the show floor? Should we go over to the booth and check it out?
Absolutely. So what we want to do this time, because this is the first time we've been on the show floor, is we actually want to do 2 completely different things. So for the press or behind closed doors, they're seeing this stuff, they're seeing some other stuff. Anybody who wants to come to the show floor, there's 2 different things they can do. They can either go to Tatooine, which is near the end of Chapter 1. It's pretty high end. They can get their own personal speeder. They can run around Tatooine. They can do anything they want, just freeform gameplay. Or they can actually go to the Origin Worlds and do the exact same thing and just start from the beginning of the game, just play.
That's awesome. That's super awesome. All right, so I've got some folks in here that are asking questions. I guess, so what's the release date? You guys have a release date?
We are still saying 2011 and not saying anything else.
That was from the TU Kill. It's a Mythology 123. They want to know subscription price. You guys talking any subscriptions?
We haven't talked anything about pricing at all in any direction.
1213, awesome names by the way. They want to know, can you talk more about the mounts, any specific types, anything else?
Absolutely. So what we started with for ship, we're really going mechanical. As much as, you know, when we were trying to figure out the Dubox and the Tauntauns and all that stuff are cool and we want to do them, but obviously, you know, you're not going to see them running cities, you're not going to see them. So we started with the cool mechanical ones because we wanted to do a big variety. They're not faction specific, but they lean towards one faction or the other, but it is possible if you work hard to get the other faction stuff. And they're basically like a different versions of stand-up speeders. It's the speeder bikes and things, the traditional ones for taxis. And then we needed to make something a little bit more compact. You weren't going to take up so much room if everybody was running around with them everywhere. So they're kind of a between cool speeder bike, swoop bikes, and a little bit of Segway thrown in there.
That sounds very awesome. It sounds like you got a lot of different variety there. There's a couple, I can tell you, I can answer this question myself. Yes, there will be updates. A ton of stuff that's coming through. I guess they said past release. I mean, some of the questions you're asking about, and all right, some of them have some past release. Do you guys already know with what you're planning for the release of the official game and everything? Are you guys already planning any updates and stuff? You got the game, you know.
Right. I mean, obviously, right now for PR press and that stuff, we're doing that. But as the lead writer, my is to know if this game goes, you know, from the day one. If this game goes on for 10 years, story going.
Right.
We've had the big picture mapped out for a very long time, and now we're getting started in some of it. It's really cool.
That is super cool. Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Absolutely. Thank you
super
for having
appreciate
us.
It. Right there, Star Wars: The Old Republic, one of the biggest games here at E3 2011. And thank you again for bringing it by. Really, we will get out to the out to your guys' booth by all means, and hopefully check out some of the Tatooine and some of the other stuff. Excellent. We're right on. E3 2011 will continue here on the GameSpot stage momentarily. Come back. I believe we're going to have some Uncharted 3, so live demo with that. Check that out in just a bit. Homer. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.